Hey everyone, by request, we're going to do some actually baby back ribs today on my smoker. What we have here is just one rack of baby back pork ribs. And what we're going to do first is take off this silver skin or this membrane that's on the back here. So you just take a sharp knife and work it underneath there till you get an end of it loose. And it's kind of slippery, so I take a paper towel, grab a hold of it, and just pull it all the way off and discard it. It's not, you don't absolutely have to take it off, but if you don't, then you're going to have that membrane, kind of a chewy piece on the back of the rib. Now we're going to season it. Pork ribs are actually very easy to cook, especially if you do it the way I do. So you can mix up a rib rub, Texas style. You dry rub the meat before you put it on the smoker. Or you can do what I do. This is a Fiesta brand rib rub. So it's already made up. It has like paprika, brown sugar, granulated garlic, pepper, salt, stuff like that in it, which you would have to make up yourself if you didn't buy it already made. This is so much easier, and I've been using it for years. It's really good. So you just give a liberal coating of that to each side of the rib and kind of pat it on there so it'll stick. Turn it over, and yes, do the ribby, the back side where the bones are. Again, pretty liberally. I want to get everything covered. And same thing, kind of pat it in there. Just kind of push it down into the meat. And there you have it. It's all covered with the rub. I have the smoker warming up, so when it gets up to 250 degrees, I'll put some, I use an electric smoker with wood chips. I'll show it to you in a minute. So when it gets up to temperature, I'll put the wood chips in there and start it smoking. And then very shortly after that, we'll put the ribs on for, I use 3-2-1, so 3 hours on the smoker uncovered. I take it off, wrap it in tinfoil, put it back on the smoker for 2 hours, unwrap it again in 2 hours, and put it back on for another hour. Makes it nice and tender. Be back in a minute. Okay, we're outside. This is my smoker. It's a master built electric, like chest type smoker. And it's smoking away. We're up to 250 degrees. So we're going to put the ribs on, which I have up here in this pan. Just unlatch the door. Smoke. A barbecue glove here. There's the ribs. Excuse me. Put it in the top rack. I've got enough room in the smoker to do. I've actually done 12 racks of ribs at one time before. I have oak chips in there, but you can use fruit wood. A lot of times, especially with brisket, because I just like the flavor, I'll use a pecan chips, but I had oak, so we're going to have oak this time. So I'll go wash this thing out. We're going to leave it on here for 3 hours, and then we'll come out and wrap it. Okay, it's been 3 hours now. 2 wrapped and 1 unwrapped. And that's the finished product. I'm going to cut them up into individual ribs and give them a taste, but they smell amazing. I'll be back in just a second when I get them cut up. So there they are, cut up into individual ribs. I cut the end into double rib because the end's always very small, but got a nice color on them. There's no sauce on them. You can sauce them after you unwrap them for the last hour if you want to sauce them. I just put a little bit of sauce, heated up sauce there, so you can dip it in there if that's your preference. But as you can see, the meat's starting to pull away from the bone, which is when you know when they're done. It's hard for me to do this with one hand, but I'm gonna taste the meat. Super good. The seasoning that I used, the Fiesta, it's in most of the grocery stores here. I know all the Walmarts carry it, and it's inexpensive. It's already pre-mixed. If you can't find it or you want to make your own, look in the description when I post this video, and I'll put a kind of a recipe to make your own. It's not very many. It's like 4 or 5 ingredients. If you don't have a smoker's preferably the way to do this because it gets good smoke flavor on there. If you have a regular either gas grill or charcoal grill, you can build the fire on the other side of where you put the ribs, and then throw your wood chips in there, and you'll still get smoke. If it's a gas grill, you might want to make a pouch out of aluminum foil, put your chips in there, and poke some holes in the pouch, and then lay it on the fire, and it'll smoke through that. You really only need smoke for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, so you don't need it through the whole cooking process. If you don't have any kind of grill at all, you can wet marinate these with the same spices and a little bit of olive oil brushed on, and also you add liquid smoke, which is available also at all Walmarts, and it'll give it a smoke flavor. It won't get that color like that, but once you put that on there and marinate them in that, you can put them in the oven at 250, a regular oven, and cook them for 5 or 6 hours on 250, and they'll come out not quite as colored as this, but they'll still have a smoky flavor. So there are ways to do it if you don't have a smoker. But that's it for now. Like I said, I'll post in the description the ingredients to make your own rib rub. But if you can find that Fiesta, I think that jar of it, which will do about probably 8 racks of ribs, is about $3, and it's already pre-mixed. So it has the same stuff in it that I'll list in the description. Thanks for watching.